Hello again. It's a beautiful another spring day in Cape Town, and today I'm at the botanical gardens called Kirstenbosch, and just a lovely day again for a stroll. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about philosophy in general and why it's something that's worth looking into, even if it's not something that immediately grabs you. I myself was not interested. I found reading philosophy to be very difficult. A lot of old books written in very difficult language, and just kind of reading them felt like wading through mud a little bit. But then I stumbled across my first philosopher that really resonated, which was Friedrich Nietzsche. And he was really kind of my gateway drug into the topic. In many of his books, like Thus Spoke Zarathustra and The Gay Science, he spoke about the link between the death of God and nihilism, or in other words, sort of losing your faith, losing your religion as a modern person, as many of us have, and the resulting meaninglessness that we feel. I think a lot of people have actually characterized the way people feel as a meaninglessness crisis, right? And for me, I felt that meaninglessness creep in, but I had no idea that it could have been due to, reading a Richard Dawkins book when I was a teenager in high school. I had no idea really what I was doing. I think the terminology that Nietzsche used was, "Who are we to wipe away the horizon?" It was Nietzsche who sort of illuminated that fact for me, that there might be a link between losing my religion very young and when I had a huge sort of existential motivational crisis in my 20s. And reading him didn't feel like reading philosophy. It felt like I was reading the manual to a broken down car, of course me being the car. And his ideas about what to do about that were incredibly enlightening and helpful, and I find myself on a journey ever since that book. So the funny thing about philosophy, I think, is that everyone has one, whether we know it or not. You have some sort of overarching view of the world, be it traditional Christianity or Islam or whatever religion that you might have stuck to, or be it perhaps a sort of more objective materialist view, like that science can create morals, right? Something akin to something like the books by Sam Harris and Daniel Dennett. Or it's something like self-becoming and creating yourself into a competent being and leaving a legacy. And perhaps even into that is a sort of materialist wealth building, right? How much money can I accumulate? There's all sorts of different philosophies out there which people espouse, knowingly or unknowingly. But we all have one. And so, everyone could benefit from reading a bit about philosophy and how it gels with their own worldviews. If you've seen Indiana Jones, you might remember that scene when Harrison Ford goes into the depths of a tomb. He surpasses many traps, he goes deeper and deeper, and he finds there a golden idol, which he has to, on a pedestal, which he has to swap with a bag of sand. And he manages to do that, and he rests the bag perfectly on the altar, and he thinks he's got the golden idol. But of course, immediately after, the temple comes crumbling down, and him and his friend have to run for their lives as it caves in on them. I sort of see philosophy like something like that. It's going deep into yourself, finding what really, really motivates you. What's the jewel at the center of your philosophical views? It's something that requires a bit of excavation work. These are views that drive you, knowingly or unknowingly. And when you go and you start to tinker at that level, like I did when I lost my faith initially, you don't realize the ramifications throughout your whole life, and how a change in your core philosophy might change you as a person in many different ways. So yeah, I think I'll stop there. But I'm on my own journey reading through, many of the different philosophers. I think some people like philosophy because of an academic interest, right? Sort of learning all the way from the ancient Greeks to the medieval philosophers and, Enlightenment and now modern philosophy. But for me, I read philosophy out of necessity to learn about myself. I'm by no means an academic, but have found it so totally helpful. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you what you think your prevailing philosophy is. Is it something that you've thought a lot about, or is it something that you haven't paid much attention to? Do you think it does sit at the center of your being in terms of how you conduct yourself in the world? I'd love to hear from you, and have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.